about Billy being like the same age as Nancy?
That is a great way to pose that question. I have heard different versions of that question, but that is the best way anyone has ever asked me that question. Well, I always like to state that he is over 18, so there was nothing illegal going on. I haven't delved too much into the age difference there. I sort of looked at it as like probably like a mom who's not too happy and feels like no one sees her and got some attention, but then was never going to go through with it. But yeah, I don't think she thought about it later on. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
That was a good answer.
It's a good question.
What's your name and what's your question?
Question, and mine's not going to be as good. I'm sorry. My name is Josh, and my question is: you've been part now of 2 shows I think of as that were filmed kind of like movies, more or less than like TV shows. Stranger Things being one of them. I have to get really close. But the other one is The Sopranos, and The Sopranos I feel like is one of the first shows that really changed the game and made it more like a movie rather than your typical 3-camera TV show. What was that like? Because you had done quite a bit of TV at that point to be on that show and feel like, wow, this is really different or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, David Chase was frustrated because he couldn't get movies made, and he then made Sopranos and got rejected from the typical networks, and then HBO said yes. And like Mad Men, I was a huge Sopranos fan, right? And I was like, I'll never get on their show, and people would say to me, why don't you get on the show? I was like, oh, okay. Like there was never a role for me until there was an audition. And I just couldn't believe I got to be part of that show. And that was a show after the Bad Show that like, I literally like my first day of work, they literally said like, welcome to the family. And it was such an inviting show. Everyone was, some of these shows I'm very been lucky that are like have a lot of like excellence to them. I just think somehow like there's sort of no plan, but it sort of attracts people who are like-minded, want the same level of outcome. And I was just lucky enough to get the job and be part of it, and be part of that writing and directing. And that was really, it's just magical. Hope that answers. I don't know if I answered your question.
Okay. What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Fenton, and what was it like to be a mom in Stranger Things and in real life?
Aw, hi. I love kids, so this was my dream job to, be on a show with a bunch of children. And my daughter was little when I got the job. She was 3. And my other favorite job in real life is being a mom. So I really was happy to do both. I'm happy to do both.
That's very sweet. What's your name? What's your question?
Jessa, and
you can pull that down a little bit. Yeah, if you aim it down. There you go.
What do you think about the ending of Stranger Things, and if you could change it in any way, what would you change?
You guys are so clever. I love how you're phrasing things. So I personally love the ending of Stranger Things because I love that it's a story about believing, and I think sort of the whole season's about believing in yourself, believing in your friends, believing in the power of storytelling. And I think they wrapped it up beautifully. That's my feeling. How do you feel? Yeah. Thank you for your question.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Kat.
Hi, Kat.
So I really loved you as Dr. Miller in Mad Men.
Thank you.
And my friend and I talk about the ending, the breakup between your character and Don's character all the time. It haunts me. For people that don't know,
I have a quick question for you. I feel like I know like when there's been like a new resurgence of people watching Friends, like there's a new generation that discovered Friends, right? Because that was on in the 90s. And then I heard that like there's now people watching Mad Men again because you're very young.
I'm a little older than you expect. I actually watched Mad Men when it aired.
You did? Oh, okay. I thought because I keep seeing. Well, you still. I keep hearing from younger people that they've like watching Sopranos now, like as if it's new. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool. It's kind of nice to like have a new audience.
No, that's true. There is a resurgence, but
Yeah.
the last line that you have when you break up with
Yes.
Dawn haunts me. And I think I'm not gonna get it correct, but it's I hope you're happy, and I hope she knows that you only like the beginning of things.
Yeah, I love that line. Yeah.
That was phenomenal. Me and my friend talk about this all the time. But do you have like a idea of like where Dr. Miller ended up and like what she wound up doing later on after like breaking up with Dawn and moving on?
You know, I always think about that line because she was so right about that line, right? I had always hoped that, I don't know why Matt didn't bring her back at least for one episode, like running into Peggy. I always wanted her to come back and be like, hey, like, I thought that she went on, her career was fabulous. Like maybe she was opening up her own agency. Like she's rising. So I didn't think that, you know, Don Draper knocked her down in any way, but I really wanted like Peggy to run into her and see her being fabulous. And, you know, and the audience seeing that like, you know, she's doing well. But yeah, that was my hope for her. Yeah, I kind of was mad that we didn't see a little bit of her happy afterlife.
I agree.
Thank you. Thanks. It haunts me too a little bit.
Thank you so much.
That was a great question. What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Gavin.
Hi, Gavin.
My question is, I wanted to ask about taking on that mentorship role. You mentioned you enjoy working with children. I'm planning on running a Dungeons & Dragons for Neurodivergent Youth program in the future, and I just wanted to ask for some advice, getting into that, working with that, kind of bolstering people's futures, you know?
Wow, that's so great. That's going to be really great for like so neurodivergent kids, yeah. I mean, I don't have any specialty in kids with neurodivergency because I don't have any, you know, training, but I mean, I think like being a mentor to anyone is just like one wanting to do it, you know, and I think for any young people, they just want to know that you're there and you're like listening is really important. Sometimes they don't want to hear. Like I always say when someone tells me something like, do you want advice or do you want me just to listen? Right? So I think that's always a good way to approach things. Yeah, I think that just the fact that you're doing that, like creating a community is great, or people feel like they can, you know, they all share that thing. My daughter has ADHD, so I definitely recognize the challenges in that. So that's really awesome. It's really great that you're doing that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
What's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
I was wondering, like, what's your favorite part about Karen?
About Karen. Well, I think from a technical standpoint, I love her hair and all the hair evolution. I like her short hair cut at the end. And everyone was telling me, you should cut your hair short. I was like, no. I like it how it looked for her, but I was like, that's not something I can.
For you.
It's not for me. Short hair is actually harder to maintain than long hair. You always have to like style it. Long hair, you can just let it like, you know, like, anyway, I digress. But I just like that Karen always had like a subtext of strength because you never really knew what it was till the end. And yeah, that she was a good mom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great question. What's your name and what's your question?
Hi there. My
Hi.
name's Tom.
Hi, Tom.
My partner Steph and I, right here, have been watching Stranger Things way back from the first episode, and so total fanboy fangirl moment from going
Thank
on
you.
screen to then having you here.
It's so wild, like 10 years. You know what I'm thinking? Like, oh gosh, we all go back 10. A lot of us go back 10 years, right?